when, as long as Mrs. Livadar was talking, I was deleting off some points of my presentation, so very few have been left. Let me start by giving my congratulations to the organizers of this conference. I believe that it is indeed a very high quality energy conference that takes place every year. Today I'm going to speak to you about floating offshore wind farms. I think that this is indeed a very interesting topic for Greece, and I believe that I can contribute as a constructor. So why do we deal with and manufacture wind farms? One answer is that we cannot have establishments of facilities in deep seas, so floating platforms are important. In Greece, we need to prove the capacity for wind farms all over the areas, because we don't have continuous measurements of all the areas, just fragmented snapshots of what happens. The point is that nowadays the offshore wind potential and energy is limited to several areas, and we would like to say here that the floating platforms would allow further deployment of this capacity. We have reached a maturity in our industry in the weighted cost of our manufacturing, and we also are very attractive because, as has already been mentioned by the previous speakers, because we can utilize the know-how and the shipping technology that we have in Greece in order to utilize some national resources for national production. The aim of our company is that floating platforms will promote internationalization of the production in order to utilize the optimal energy mix. Let me share some figures with you. 220 euros weighted cost, and we believe that in 2030 we're going to reach 65. In 2020 we believe that nowadays that in the next 10 years we're going to need some support in order to reach the 65 in 2030. The challenge that we have to face in manufacturing terms is that the floating wind farms need engineering resources in terms of human capital. In companies like VESTAS that have 2.5 gigawatts in the US, in the Americas, and 3.5 gigawatts in Asia. So we need to see how smaller magnitudes of parks in Greece can become attractive enough for investments in order to reach a sustainable level. Let me share some information about our experience. VESTAS 10 years ago constructed a 2 megawatt project where the construction of all parts of the floater take place on land. This project has managed to produce wind energy even when the waves had a height of 12 meters, which is a very impressive fact, and survived when the waves height reached 17. So this showed that the wind turbines can function when mounted on floaters, and this gave us the opportunity to start thinking more ambitious projects, some of which are on this slide. In specific, the wind float Atlantic is 8.5 megawatts, 164 meters of diameter. Also, the 9.5 megawatts in the Kincardine. These data give us the opportunity to proceed to planning commercial applications. In order to repeat what I told you before, we understand that small projects are important, especially in offshore areas. But of course, it is very important to know which is the best time in order to act. And in our opinion, it's time that we finished with pilot projects or tests, and we should proceed now to larger farms so as to decrease cost even further. To conclude, let me say that floating projects are here to stay. They will respond to the challenges of weighted cost of energy and will become very competitive in the energy mix. We already have the experience. We develop, we see the development of huge projects all over the world, which is good for Greece in terms of the know-how that we can draw. If we want to aim for a better future, the public administration has to actively participate in order to set the regulatory framework and provide the support that we need if we want to be innovative in our deployments. The industry needs to select a specific technology and create big commercial parks in order to lower the weighted cost of energy. And of course, Greece could benefit from floating solutions for RES to increase the national production chain via floaters and take advantage of its geographical area, geographical position, in order to be a pioneer in its area. Thank you very much for your time.